Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shall I start?
Yes, please, Mataji, please start. Thank you.
Bhaktinam cha bhavanam shakti yasham cha tatkrutam asadadhanan nivashatvan durmedan harasitya suha durbhagama cha janan vikshya muni divyena chakshusha sarvana shamanam yad dadayo hitam amogdruk.
The great sage, who was fully equipped in knowledge, could see through his translational vision the deterioration of everything material due to the influence of the age. He could also see that the faithless people in general would be reduced in duration of life and would be impatient due to lack of goodness. Thus, he contemplated for the welfare of man in all statuses and orders of life.
Chatuhotram karma siddham prajanam vikshya vedikam vedadhat yagna santadaye vedam ekam chaturvidam.
He saw that the sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas were means by which the people's occupations could be purified. And to simplify the process, he divided the one Veda into 4 in order to expand them among men.
Ye samatha vakya vedas shaiva udarata ityas puranam cha panchamo veda uchyate.
4 divisions of the original sources of knowledge, the Vedas, were made separately. But the historical facts and the authentic stories mentioned in the Puranas are called the 5th Veda.
Tatraga veda dhara paila samago jaimini kaviho vaishna payene evaiko.
And flowers?
Yeah. After the Vedas were divided into 4 divisions, Paila Rishi became the professor of the Rig Veda, Jaimini the professor of the Samaveda, and Vaisampayana alone became glorified by the Yajurveda.
Hare Krishna.
Is Krishangi Mataji not there to recite?
Oh, sorry, I got muted. Sorry. Athava jirasam masit sumunta daruna muni itayas purana nam pitame roma harsanaha.
The Sumanto Muni Angira, who was very devotedly engaged, was entrusted with the Atharva Veda, and my father, Roma Harsana, was entrusted with the Puranas and historical records.
Ta eta rushiyo vedam samsam vyasana anekada shishye parishishye se tachishye vedas te sankhino bhavan.
All these learned scholars, in their turn, rendered their entrusted Vedas unto their many disciples, grand disciples, and great grand disciples, and thus the respective branches of the followers of the Vedas came into being.
Tae veda dumede dharyante purushe yatha evam chakha bhagwan vyasa krupan vatsalaha.
The great sage Vyasadeva, who is very kind to the ignorant masses, edited the Vedas so they might be assimilated by less intelligent men.
Si Sudra Dvaja Bandhuna Trena Shruti Gochara Karma Shreyasi Buddhana Shre Evam Bhavediyaha Iti Bharatam Akhyanam Krupaya Munina Krutam.
Out of compassion, the great sage thought it was wise that this would enable men to achieve the ultimate goal of life. Thus, he compiled a great historical narration called the Mahabharata for women, laborers, and friends of the twice born.
एवं परुतस्य सदा भूतानां चेयसि द्विजः सर्वात्मा केनापि यदा नातुष्यद्धुर्धेयं गतः.
Once born, or twice born Brahmanas, still his mind was not satisfied. Although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of all people.
नाति प्रसादिदाद्धुर्यदया सर्ववत्यास्तते शुचो वितर्कयन् विविक्तस्थ idam chovana dharmavita.
Thus the sage, being dissatisfied at heart, once again began to reflect, because he knew the essence of religion, and he said within himself,
Dhutavatena himaya chamdamsi gurvo ganaya manita nirvalikena gritam chanu sasanam bharata vyapadesena yatmana yathascha prasidishitaha dushyate yatra durmadi siti sudradibhi iti api utta.
I have under strict disciplinary vows unpretentiously worshipped the Vedas, the spiritual masters, and the altar of sacrifice. I've also abided by the rulings and have shown the import of disciplinic succession through the explanation of the Mahabharata, by which even women, Sudras, and other friends of twice born can see the path of religion.
What is, can you turn? Put it. Can you scroll up, please? Thank you. Tathapi vatmin teyoho yatma chaivatmana vibhuha asampana vivabhati brahma vachase satamaha.
I'm feeling incomplete, though I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas.
Kimva bhagavata dharma na prayena nirupitaha priya paramahamsanam ta eva hi achyuta priyaha.
This may be because I did not specifically point out the devotional service of the Lord, which is dear both to perfect beings and to the infallible Lord.
Tasyevam kilam atmanam manyasamanasya khidayataha Krishnaje narada bhyagat ashramam pragudhartam.
As mentioned before, Narada reached the cottage of Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa on the banks of the Saraswati, just as Vyasadeva was regretting his defects.
Tamabhijanasya sahasa pratyuthaya gatam munihi pujyamasa vividvan naradam surapurjitam.
At the auspicious arrival of Sri Narada, Sri Vyasadeva got up respectfully and worshipped him, giving him veneration equal to that given to Brahmaji, the creator. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for reciting the verses and the English translations. Thanks a lot.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.
So today's verse is verse number 24 of chapter 4, canto 1. So we'll just recite the verse and then we'll talk about this verse. So I welcome everybody in this session of Srimad Bhagavatam, which was previously the session for Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And as we progressed, we completed Bhagavad Gita and we started Srimad Bhagavatam. And now we have reached to chapter 4th. And every day we are reading one verse, and then we are doing the transliteration purpose and whatever we can gather, realization, information from Srimad Bhagavatam and other commentators. So we bring some light to the topic like that. So today is verse number 24. Ta eva veda durmedher dharayante purusher yatha evam chakara bhagavan vyasah kripan vassalah. Ta eva veda durmedher dharayante purusher yatha evam chakara bhagavan vyasah kripan vassalah. That, Ev certainly, Veda, the book of knowledge, Durmedaha, by the less intellectuals, Dharyante can assimilate, Purushe, by the men, Yatha, as much as, Evam, thus, Chakar, edited, Bhagavan, the powerful Vyasa, the great sage Vyasadev, Kripan Vatsalaha, very kind to the ignorant mass. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus, the great sage Vyasadeva, who was very kind to the ignorant masses, edited the Vedas so they might be assimilated by less intellectual men. The Veda purport. The Veda is one, and the reasons for its division in many parts are explained herewith. The seed of all knowledge, or the Veda, is not a subject matter which can easily be understood by an ordinary man. There is a stricture that no one should learn the Vedas who is not a qualified Brahmin. This stricture has been wrongly interpreted in so many ways. A class of men who claim Brahminical qualification simply by their birthright in the family of a Brahmin claim that study of Veda is the monopoly of the Brahmin caste only. Another section of the people take this as an injustice to members of other castes who do not happen to take birth in Brahmin family. But both of them are misguided. Vedas are subjects which had to be explained even to Brahmaji by the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the subject matter is understood by persons with exceptional qualities of goodness. Persons who are in the mode of passion and ignorance are unable to understand the subject matter of the Vedas. The ultimate goal of Vedic knowledge is Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. This personality is very rarely understood by those who are in the mode of passion and ignorance. In Satya Yuga, everyone was situated in the mode of goodness. Gradually, the mode of goodness declined during the Treta and Dwapar Yugas, and the general mass of people became corrupt. In the present age, the mode of goodness is almost nil. And so, for the general mass of people, the kind-hearted, powerful sage Srila Vyasadeva divided the Vedas in various ways so that they may be practically followed by less intelligent persons in the mode of passion and ignorance. It is explained in the next sloka as follows. Om Agyanam Thimirindasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chukshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cha Eva Narottamam Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye Shanatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantasto Yavadrani Vidinoti Suhritsatam Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Sorry, I forgot this to chant earlier, so I've just chanted these beautiful shlokas to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a very interesting verse as to what goes through a transcendental personality and to what extent they can really go to benefit the human society. Srila Vyasadeva, generally Vyas is a post. It is a post, like Brahmaji is a post, Indra is a post, Vayu is a post. Similarly, Vyas is a post given to a qualified person. But on this particular Manvantra, which is 28th Manvantra, and the Sandhya of Dwapar, the Vyasadeva is not an ordinary personality. The Vyasadeva is the incarnation of Krishna. Therefore, his name is Krishna Dvayapan Vyasa. Now, this personality of Godhead compiled the Vedas. And initially or originally, there was only one Veda. And that one Veda was Atharva Veda. And in Atharva Veda, there's mention of Krishna's name. And in Atharva Veda, Prabhupada is describing, there's a mention that Krishna is son of Devaki. And Srila Jaya Goswami has quoted from Atharva Veda in his commentary on Brahma Samhita. So Atharva Veda is the original Veda. But then at that time, Vyasadeva started to think that this Atharva Veda is really, really difficult. It's very, very difficult for the people to understand. Which people? Not the people of Satya Yuga. People of Satya Yuga, they were very pious. They were in mode of goodness. But it is described as the mode of passion and ignorance will increase. As the mode of passion and ignorance will increase, it is described that the memories will diminish because of the impact of passion and ignorance. Previously, because of mode of goodness, people were always very, very pious. Therefore, they were Shrutidhar. They could just memorize this knowledge by hearing. But as the impact of Kali increases, the mode of passion and the mode of ignorance is proportionately increasing. It will increase further and further. As a result, all the memory will diminish. And because of which, there will be a great difficulty in understanding the Vedic text. Now, we did discuss this, but I would like to repeat how the age of Kali, as it proceeds, what are the kind of symptoms that will start to appear? Sukdev Goswami says to Parikshit Maharaj that religion, truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, even duration of life, memory, even physical strength will all diminish day by day because of the powerful influence of age of Kali. And a person who has a lot of wealth, even though he has no character, will be considered a sign of great birth, a proper behavior, of fine qualities. Even though this person is running a butcher house, he's killing innocent animals, but he's driving a nice, big, let's say a car, some nice brand, then he will be considered as a person of proper behavior. He will be considered as an upholder of law and justice, because law and justice will belong to those who has got the power. And there will be no consideration of higher principles or dharma. It will be all based on irreligiosity to an extent that men and women will just live together without doing any vivaha samskar, and just on the power of having expertise in sex life, having expertise in satisfying each other's senses, they will come together. And once they can't do it anymore, they will simply separate, which they call divorce. Whereas Vedic culture has no such thing, because the purpose of married life is to achieve higher goal of life, which is love of Godhead, going back to where we belong. So this is the symptom of Kali Yuga. And people will be using a lot of word jugglery. With the basis of word jugglery and arguments, they will try to establish irreligion as religion. And more so, if there is any water body, they will think that to be a place of pilgrimage. No, this is the water body, put some yagna havan here, and that's the job done. They won't discriminate. Mother Yamuna is kind of disappearing in Vrindavan, we can see that. Mother Ganga is getting polluted. So these rivers which are coming from the lotus feet of Krishna, from the celestial atmosphere, they are going to get diluted in the psychology of these Kali Yuga people. And there will be no social class except for Sudras. So we'll come to that. Once again, I'll touch upon this topic because Prabhupada has mentioned about it in his purport. And just a sec, I'll just my laptop battery was asking for recharging. So basically, the maximum duration of life will be just 50 years. And Mother Earth will not be giving everything that is required for maintaining the body. There'll be cold, wind, excessive heat, excessive rain, snow. We are all experiencing some symptoms of Kali Yuga, but it's all going to increase more and more and more. The entire Varnashram system, Krishna says that he has established Chaturvarnam Maya Shristam Guna Karma Vibhagasha Tasya Kartaram Api Mam Vidhi Akartaram Abvyam. Krishna is saying, according to three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, I have created these four divisions of human society. I am the creator of this system, but do not get entangled in any of this myself. So the whole Varnashram system, which means the head of the society, who is thinker, who is philosophically intrigued, who is truthful, who is guiding the society in the right path, Brahminical people, not just by birth. Srila Prabhupada is saying this is irreligiosity. This is what impact of Kali is, that those who are born in Brahmin family but have no qualities of Brahminical, no Brahminical qualities, such people, they will be called as qualified Brahmins, and such qualified Brahmins will also diminish and extinct. So where would be the existence of any such system that Krishna has established? There will be no head. Brahmins are considered a head of the society. Once again, the point being made that it is not by birth. One has to develop the Brahminical qualities, and it can be developed by anybody, wherever they are born. It has nothing to do with the birth of a person. Brahminical qualities is something that one can develop. And Satyam, Sama, Socham, these kind of qualities, which is the cleanliness in the heart, in the mind, and very learned. These Brahmins are supposed to be very learned. And if they're not learned in the Shastra, then what kind of Brahmins are these? So people who are nowadays even eating animals, etc., and they think themselves as Brahmins. But if you tell them, look, Gita is saying that you're not Brahmin, they'll feel very offended because they think that just by taking birth in the Brahminical family, they have become Brahmins. So this is going on in the name of Brahminical culture. So yeah, this is verse number 42 in chapter 18, which talks about the beautiful qualities that one has to develop before they, and all the devotees would have these qualities then automatically. Samadhamas saucham shantim arjavam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma subhavajam. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmins work. So if you don't have these qualities, if you have just taken birth, so-called Brahmin family, they are not considered to be Brahmins. They are just fallen, other varnas. So that way, whatever system or varnashram system is like a platform for development of spiritual life, that platform will be completely lost. This is what is going to happen. And this we can see that in Kali Yuga Shudra Sambhavaha, 99% people are Shudra, which means they have no interest in the spiritual life whatsoever. And all they want to do is work hard and earn money. And the slogan of work is worship will become very famous. And that is what is happening. Now we also see, I'm taking reference from the book of Burijan Prabhu, Unveiling the Lotus Feet. It is mentioned here that to understand the Vedas, there were certain qualities that were required. To make proper use of the Vedas, one is required to know the intricacies of Vedic Sanskrit, which is even more difficult than contemporary Sanskrit. In addition, the Vedas' cryptic verses require a qualified guru under whom they can be studied. So Vyasadeva thought, where would people find such guru during Kali Yuga? Before undertaking the study of the Vedas, it was expected that these students will have first studied the 6 Vedic corollaries or limbs, the Veda Anga. These 6 limbs are Siksha, the science of pronunciation; Kalpa, the process of performing sacrifice; Vyakaran, grammatical rules; Nirukta, the meanings and derivations of difficult words used in the Vedas; Jyotish Shastra, astronomy, astrology; and Chandas, which is Vedic meter. You have to sing these verses in a meter, and they have to learn all of this, prepare themselves to learn Vedas. So as they thought, who would teach these subjects and who would be capable of learning them in Kali Yuga with diminished memory because of the influence of mode of passion and ignorance? They would have no qualification to even do the preliminary journey before to get to understand the Vedas. What to talk about understanding the complicated Sanskrit language that was being used in Vedas at that time. So, in the Kurma Puran, it is explained that Vyasadeva followers. So initially, Vyasadeva divided one Veda, which is Atharva Veda, into 4 Vedas: the Rig Veda, Yajurveda Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. Then it is said that formerly Rig Veda was divided into 21 branches, Yajurveda into 100 branches, Sama Veda into 1000 branches, and Atharva into 9 branches. Each of these branches has 4 subdivisions called as Samhita, Brahman, Aryanyak, and Upanishad. Altogether, the Vedas consist of 1,130 Samhitas, 1,130 Brahmans, 1,130 Aranyakas, and 1,130 Upanishads, a total of 4,520 titles. So this is a lot. This is a lot. There is so many rishis who upholded these Vedas, one branch of Vedas, like Jaimini Rishi, Kapila Rishi, Gautam Rishi, Patanjali Rishi, Kannada Rishi. So we can see that how the Veda, subject of Veda is so vast. And what is Krishna saying? Krishna is saying, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto mataha smritirgyanam apohanam cha vedesya charved ahameva vedyo vedanta veda vid eva cha. He's saying that I am the compiler of the Vedas. And it's me who has to be known from the Vedic literature. I'm the compiler of the Vedas, and I am the one who has to be known from the Vedic literature. So, therefore, the conclusion or the essence of Vedic knowledge is compiled into Bhagavad Gita itself and the Puran, which is the spotless Puran, Srimad Bhagavat Puran. All the essence of this Vedic literature is captured in Srimad Bhagavat Puran in the by Srila Vyasadeva. Now, if we look at Brahma Samhita, we can see that the origin of Vedas lie in the spiritual world. This energy, these Vedas, they are personified. They're persons. They're emblem of knowledge. Veda means knowledge. And it is explained that in Gokul or Golok Dham, where Lord Krishna resides, there is a quadrangular place with the name Shweta Dvipa. And that Shweta Dvipa is divided into 4 parts on all sides. And in those 4 parts, the immediate expansion of Krishna, such as Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, are located, and where also the piety, wealth, passion, and liberation lives. That's where exactly Rigved, Samaved, Yajurved, and Atharvaved are situated. And they become the fundamental basis to obtain this fourfold mundane requirement of piety, wealth, passion, and liberation. And most of us would know this beautiful verse from Brahma Samhita, Advaitam Achyutam Anadi Ananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhaktau Govindamadi Purusham Kamaham Bhajami. So, when Brahmaji, when he took birth, when his body was produced from the body of Mahavishnu, from his navel, there was lotus stem that arose. And from that lotus flower, Lord Brahma took birth. He was bewildered as to what is the purpose of his life. And he was looking around. He was looking up, looking down, trying to find out. And there was all he could see is darkness, because there was no other living entity. There was nothing else. And then he was going up and down. And then he heard this sound, tapa. And then he started meditating within. And that's where the Vedic knowledge got revealed to him. And from his 4 mouths, he spoke these Vedas. So now he's singing this hymn. He's saying, Vedeshu Durlabham. Even the knowledge of Krishna is inaccessible, Durlabham, through the Vedas. All the Vedas is all the knowledge. Vedas is like a manual of how to run this world, because it is made about this world, and it shows the connectivity with the spiritual world. At the same time, it is said that even the Vedas, for Vedas, it is inaccessible. So Brahmaji is saying, I worship Govinda, who is inaccessible to the Vedas. But at the same time, he is obtainable by pure and unalloyed devotion to the Lord. Now, which Lord? Who is possessing all the beauty of blooming youth, you see? So we can see this, even those who are quite deeply studying Vedas, they may not be able to reach to the conclusions of how to achieve favor of Krishna, how to really achieve the love of God, love of Krishna. because it can be only achieved through devotional service. There is no other way. Loving devotional service to God will give us love of God, which will give us joy inside our heart, which will give us the original constitutional position which has been lost and which is dormant in our heart, and which we have been looking for millions and millions of lifetime during the death, birth, old age, and disease cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease again and again. They are unable to achieve that. That can be easily achieved by devotional service. Now, this science of Krishna consciousness is revealed to us in Srimad Bhagavatam by none other than Vedavyas. In this chapter, we are studying how Narad Dev is appearing in the life of Srila Vyasadeva and how he's going to encourage him to further, although Vedavyas has divided Vedas and make it more accessible for the people of Kali Yuga, but he will feel very dissatisfied in his heart, and he'll express it to his spiritual master, who is Narad Muni. Vedavyas will express this, that my spiritual master, I have literally done everything possible in the science of spiritual knowledge, but I'm not feeling very satisfied. It is mentioned in the next verse that he would make Mahabharata, etc. History of India, Greater India, where Lord Krishna came and performed his pastimes. But that's mentioned that it is for less intelligent class of people, Stri, Shudras, etc. But we can imagine that what kind of level Arjun would be that Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to him. Even Mahabharata is so difficult to understand for us. So we can understand the level of goodness that is expected to understand Vedas has to be very, 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 very high. Otherwise, we'll not be able to understand it. But by the mercy of Srila Vyasadeva, we can understand parts of it in terms of Srimad Bhagavatam, but not just by the mercy of Srila Vyasadeva, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna Varnam Tashat Krishnam Sangopangasta Parshada Yagne Sankirtana Praya Bhajantihi Sumedasha. Krishna, who appeared as his own devotee, but whose complexion was not like Krishna's complexion. His Chaitanya's complexion was molten golden complexion of Srimati Radharani because he appeared in the mood of Radharani. He made it accessible by giving the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Like a king, he has a lot of wealth, but he will not just go out and give out his wealth to anybody and everybody without discrimination. But same king, if he is drunk and he is not in his consciousness and he feels intoxicated, he can go out and he can say to everybody, okay, I'm going to part my wealth with all of you. Whether you qualify or not, don't matter. I want to give you all the wealth today. I'll break open the treasure house and give it to you, all the wealth. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya, he was intoxicated by the love of Srimati Radharani, by the mood of Srimati Radharani. She is experiencing higher realm, a wave of joys, of love of Krishna, in Madhurya Ras, in Vipralamba Bhav, in separation. So Lord Chaitanya is experiencing these emotions, and the highest of the highest of the highest mantra, which makes Krishna kind of servant of the devotees, the controller of the entire planetary systems, the material world, the spiritual world. He's saying, Mama, I'm the controller of this energy. He becomes controlled by the devotees. He controlled, bought by the devotees completely. If one chants Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then this mantra's result is that you will achieve love of God, and God himself become attracted to you. And in this way, Lord Chaitanya gave the essence of the essence of the essence
in the form of holy names. Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam eva kevalam kalau nastev 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 gatiranyatha. There's no other way. There's no other way. There's no other way in the age of Kali. Why? Because the memories are diminished. The mode of ignorance and passion is increasing. How can this person of Kali, with a very short duration of life, in which he's sleeping so many hours, he's working so hard to maintain, paying taxes to the government, paying inflation costs, somehow managing and maintaining their standard of living, how will they ever come closer to Krishna? Thus, Lord Chaitanya gave this Mahamantra freely, without indiscrimination. Gayatri mantras is offered to those who are Brahminical in quality. There is restriction. Gayatri mantra is not given to everybody. But many mantras have many conditions. But Mahamantra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and gives to everybody. You take this Mahamantra, you chant this Mahamantra, and you will get the qualifications that nobody else can get otherwise. Nobody, even those who are Prakanda Vidwan Pandit in Vedas, all the Vedas, they have learned, they have understood, they're Samartha Brahmins, they're all kind of rituals they are following. They will not understand the science of devotion. They will never understand the science of devotion. Never understand the science of devotion. It can only be understood in the disciplic succession and by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. This mercy of Lord Chaitanya was brought to us in disciplic succession by the mercy of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. His disappearance day was there day before yesterday, and we were reading about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how he would sleep only 3 to 4 hours, being district magistrate, yet he wrote so many books in Bengali, in Sanskrit, in English, and he gave us such huge amount of literature, poetry in the form of Sharanagati. He wrote so many poetries of different phases of the Sharanagati, or surrender to Krishna. And by his mercy, we had Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, who came about and gave and worked on the blueprint that Bhaktivinoda Thakur drew, and he created the Gaudiya Math. And under his disciplic lineage came Srila Prabhupada, who has now given us ISKCON, International Society of Krishna Consciousness, under which we are all trying to practice sadhana bhakti by chanting this holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. By chanting this mantra, we can reach up to the stage of love of God, sadhu sangha, then anartha nivrit bhajan kriya. When you get the association of devotees, you will do some devotional service. So singing and chanting the names of the Lord is also devotional service. Hearing about the Lord is also devotional service. Hearing about Srimad Bhagavatam is also devotional service. All the activities are connected to God directly, Krishna, then they are all considered to be devotional service. One performs devotional service, then he gradually gets removed. All the anartha nivrit, all the kama, krodha, lobha, mat, moh, matsarya get removed from his heart. And then his nishtha increases. His faith increases. His faith becomes very, very strong in the holy names of the Lord, in the process of bhakti, and then he develops ruchi, a taste. Just like somebody wants to eat kheer, he has a taste for it. And he would love to eat that kheer, and nobody can stop him to eat kheer. If he loves it, he would just get it somehow or the other. Similarly, one gets the taste for devotional service. When one gets a taste of devotional service, it comes spontaneously in his heart. He's no more attracted to the wealth, the kamini, the woman, the followers, etc. He's only attracted to service to Krishna. And that stage, it has become ruchi. You've got taste for it. You've got spontaneous taste coming in the heart. You cannot stop this person anymore in continuing with his devotional service to Krishna. And you can see so many examples before us by the mercy of Prabhupada and Prabhupada himself and all his so many of his disciples. You can see how they have the taste for the holy names, how they have the taste for preaching the mission of Krishna consciousness, how they have the taste to reproduce the literatures with their own realizations, but not losing the message. And like that, we can see they're producing so much of a wealth of information for the benefit of mankind, creating temples after temples, giving platforms of worship, giving occasions to perform devotional service for Krishna. And this way, we can see how one reaches to ruchi, and then one reaches to bhava, where you feel emotions, or prema after that. So this Bhakti Lata bridge Brahmand Brahmite Kaun Bhagavan Jeev. Brahmand Brahmite Kaun Bhagavan Jeev. Guru Krishna Kripa Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. This devotional seed of devotional creeper in the heart of living entity happens by the mercy of Krishna. In this case, here we can see how the mercy of Krishna is coming in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam by the mercy of Srila Vyasadeva, and Guru, one who is going to guide us and teach us the science of Krishna consciousness. So there's another beautiful verse from Brahma Samhita where Lord Brahma is saying, I adore the Govinda primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra sukta told by the Vedas, by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, throne, conveyances, and ornaments. See, these Vedas are giving a lot of knowledge about the transcendental ornaments, and Brahmaji singing these hymns, mantra suktas, which are given in the Vedas to sing the beauty of Krishna. So in the purport of this verse, it is said that those who are advocates of Shantras attain the region of Brahma Paramatma, the seat of eternal peace. So those who are in relationship with Krishna, but they're neutral in relationship, they can reach to Brahma Paramatma stage. But then there are those who wants to be servants of Krishna, physically serving Krishna. They go to Vaikuntha planets and they serve the majestic abode. They get situated in the majestic abode of Sri Narayan with 4 armed forms, and everybody knows he's the ruler of those Vaikuntha planets, and they serve him. Then there they worship Krishna by the suktas depicted in the Vedas, with the ingredients and objects befitting the respective rasas in those regions. That's where the Vedas are bringing this beautiful hymns. But our parampara is leading us to a greater platform of relationship wherein we can serve Krishna in higher rasas. And this is the beauty of this parampara of Brahma Garyam Madhav parampara. So I would like to end the talk here and see if there are any comments or if there are any questions at all. Then we can take up these questions. Much of what we have heard today is sort of we have been knowing them. We know it's a general philosophy, but we need to hear it again and again because of our forgetfulness. Otherwise, we will just completely forget about it. So, yes, if there's any question or comment, we can take it now. Hare Krishna.
I'd like to make a comment, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, yes.
As always, when you tell your stories, it's so sweet, and you tell it from the heart. I can feel it that you are so learned in this area. You don't have to look at the books. It's all there, and it's really nice when you give examples. It really qualifies, what you're trying to say. And that's what Prabhupada's always talked about. Seek out the evidence. Don't just make assumptions and make up your own story. So you are connecting it with the Shastras, which is beautiful. Prabhupada would be so proud of you. He is proud of you.
Thank you, Jahanukanya Mataji. Thank you very much. I don't deserve these praises. All I'm trying to do is repeat your Prabhupada's words and taking references from his book. So thank you for being very, very attentively hearing. And it was such a pleasure to meet you at the manor the other day, physically. So thank you very much for coming here to the classes and participating in this transcendental pastimes of Lord.
Thank you, Prabhuji. You imparting amazing teachings with your humility. I mean, I'm learning from you. Thank you so much.
Right.
That's how one should be, not to be too like a celebrity, which is good. You're such a humble personality. Thank you.
Right. Okay. Is there any question in the group? We have, I've deliberately left some time today. Okay. There's a comment from Shriji Kishori Mataji. She's saying, very nice class, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. And yeah, we have around 9 minutes. If there's any comment or question, please don't be shy. Okay, there's a question. It's saying, what is the meaning of Jahanukanya? The daughter of Mother Ganga, I believe. But Janu Mataji, your spiritual master told you something like that?
Yeah, well, he didn't, but I looked it up and it says the daughter of Janu. The story goes that Janu got angry because he was flooded out with I forgot the personality's name that was sent. Well, I think Lord Shiva, his matted hair, there was trickles of water coming down to Ganga. And Ganga took the water on Mother Earth, and in fact the water flooded Janu's kingdom, and he was so aggrieved and angry, he swallowed up all the water, and the water, he was so furious he would not relent, but the whole community, all the sages, they prayed to him and begged him, and he relented and replaced the water, and apparently it came through his air. He replenished the rivers and the river Ganga, and I mean, I only know a little bit since the name was given to me. I'm very curious as to know how the story goes a bit further, but there wasn't much write-up on it. I don't know where I could find any more. But anyway, so the water, that's how Ganga came about. And the name, the other name to it is Janavi, the daughter of Janu.
Yeah.
So I am very privileged to be part of Mother Ganga, because I really love Ganga. Since I was a kid, I used to go to the seaside and fully clothed, bathe in the sea. It was so sweet. Yeah, so one of the things that I really respect every time I see the seaside, I bow to Mother Ganga, which is good.
Wonderful.
And it's come my way. Isn't that amazing? It's not by chance these things happen. It's what's meant to be for you. It comes your way, doesn't it? Krishna makes it possible.
Yeah. So this is beautiful, and there's an instance where the conversation, I believe, between Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, that how people in the age of Kali will be they'll be so sinful when they come to bathe in River Ganga. We are only 5,000 years in the Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna, there's some sounds coming through the. Okay, let me just make it. Yeah. So basically, as I recall, there was an incident when Mother Ganga will be bathed by the very, very sinful people. How Mother Ganga will get rid of the sinful reactions, Of course, Mother Ganga is flowing through the lotus feet of Krishna. But still, to glorify Vaishnavas, I think Lord Shiva is mentioning that when the pure devotees of Lord, when they will come and bathe in Mother Ganga, then all those sinful reactions will be vanished. So the position of pure devotees of the Lord, not just the devotees of the Lord, but pure devotees of the Lord, who are beyond the modes of nature, who are completely surrendered to the lotus feet of Krishna,
therefore who are more powerful and more worthy of praises than even the demigods, even the Indra, because Indra is Karma Mishrit Bhakta. So to that extent, the Vaishnavas are glorified. That all the sinful reactions which are accumulated in Mother Ganga in the Kali will be completely removed by when the lotus feet of these Shuddha Vaishnava devotees will touch Mother Ganga. You see, so this parampara that has been given to us is glorified like this, and we can see the purity of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada is drawing all the living being souls on the planet, and this will continue for the golden age, which is 10,000 years. So becoming a Vaishnava, a devotee, not just a devotee, but a pure devotee who is situated not in mode of goodness, but in Shuddha Sattva, beyond the mode of goodness, is something that is appreciated in the Shastras. And this is the opportunity which lies before all of us in this lifetime. By mercy of Prabhupada, we can achieve this pure Shuddha Nam of Krishna. This Shuddha Nam has power to completely annihilate all the sinful reactions which is seated in our hearts for billions of lifetime. All you have to do is just chant holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare.
Ram Ram Hare Hare.
So I think I will now take this opportunity to close today's session. If there is still any question, please put in the chat box. We'll take it in our next session. And I would like to thank everybody for being present here today. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa
Sindhuvaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for nice.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Thank you.
Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhu, thank you.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, another time, would you be able to share some light on Jahanukanya?
Try to find Mataji, sure.
Yeah, if you do, it will be very helpful for me. Or maybe you send me a link.
Okay, thank you. Sure, I will. Hare
Krishna.
Thank you. Hari Bol.
Hare
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.